Hello guys! With all the respect to Peace Summit in Switzerland, I am sure you will agree that the most important steps towards Ukraine's territorial integrity and global peace and security are taken by the Ukrainian armed forces. And today we return to our favorite series when we learn more about Russian geography based on the locations of explosions on the military objects there. All the materials carefully provided by the Ukrainian armed forces. And tonight, in the result of the special military operation of Ukrainian Angry Birds, our drones, it was really loud in three of Russian regions: Belgorod, Lipetsk, and Voronezh. And we have destroyed some of their military plants that were used to back up Russian tanks, provide metal, and other stuff. Actually, all of these Russian regions that border Ukraine now are turned into a military platform. Many people have left them all because of constant air raid alerts and blackouts that are now common on the Russian side too. When Putin wanted war and the population supported him, they forgot about one very important universal truth. War always returns back home, and the home of this war is definitely Russia. So I do hope one day we will get more updates about the loud explosions in one of Putin's bunkers. So let me tell you more about these beautiful drone operations and why it is important for the future victory of Ukraine and our allies. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight against Russian propaganda and fake news. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. Three Russian regions that experienced, as Russian media will describe that, loud sounds tonight were Belgorod, Lipetsk, and Voronezh. Lipetsk is an internal region of Russia, and Belgorod borders three Ukrainian regions: Luhansk, Kharkiv, and Sumy, and Voronezh borders Luhansk region. And something that no one expected at the start of the full-scale war, that these regions will also turn into a war zone. And we have to be honest. Putin invited it to his country. And many people who live in that regions report the problems they encounter, all because of this special military operation started by the Kremlin. They do have blackouts, they do hear air raid alerts. Many of them left these frontline regions, and unfortunately they are not protesting seriously. From time to time we can hear about Russian mothers and Russian wives going on strikes, but this is nothing taken into account the size of Russian losses in this war. That is over 500,000. Guys, can you imagine that? So anyway, Ukrainian kamikaze drones travel to three of these regions on a mission. We always target only legitimate military objects because our task in this war is to return our territories as of 1991 and forget about Russia. Which is a dying empire. And I watched latest video of Jake Bro and I loved how he described Russian soldiers that are dying for their dying empire. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe. This is the easiest way to demonstrate your solidarity and help Ukraine be more visible. It is very important for the support and our future victory. And I trust you will do that, guys. So anyway, Belgorod, Voronezh, and Lipetsk were under attack. And I love it that Google Analytics now demonstrates more and more results for Ukraine's attacks on Russia, not Russian attacks on Ukraine. And once again, this demonstrates a tremendous change in the course of this evil war. So anyway, two of Russian plants were on fire. One is a metallurgical plant in Lipetsk, and another one is a tractor plant. If we do have many people who are over worried by the security of Russian civilians, I will assure you that these tractor plants are working as tank plants. Those who know a little bit about military vehicles, they know that tractors actually resemble tanks to some extent. And by the way, one of the most popular professions to be mobilized in the Ukrainian armed forces are tractor drivers. And that's why most of Russian plants, especially the ones involved in the production of metal, in the production of vehicles, switch to this military industry. And honestly, I believe that one of the things that actually keeps Russia floating is this war. Because with the help of this war, they actually solve a lot of their internal problems. They explain poverty, misery, problems with this foreign interference. Of course, it's not Russia's problems. They are perfect. And it's all the rotten West, the crazy Ukraine, but not like Russian alcoholism or craziness or whatever. Laziness, by the way, or negligence. The list can actually be very long. And also, this is a way to give people some jobs, to explain problems, and so on. So, honestly, what many normal leaders of the democratic countries still do not understand, they are looking for some normal reason of Putin's war and Russian war. They think it's about territories. No, Russia is already the largest country in the world. And you know, when you look at what they do to Ukrainian territories, they apply the scorched earth policy, which leads to nothing. They don't get anything. They don't get plants, they destroy them. They don't get schools, they destroy them. They mine Ukraine. It's awful, but Ukraine is now the most mined territory country in the world. When I say it, it aches. Honestly, I try not to concentrate on such things because that's a survival mode and I'm an optimist by nature. But just think about that. How painful it is when you love your land, when you love your people, to understand that many of your forests, many of your fields where actually these brave tractor drivers work are mined. And many of them do that in bulletproof vests, and some of them die because they get on mines. And all because of Russia. So Russia does not need this territory. Russia does not need money because it is actually losing money during this war. It simply needs war to keep Putin at power and to explain all of their failures as foreign interference, which is a typical fascist, by the way, ideology, when you do not blame yourself for some of the problems, but you're trying to blame everybody else but you. And I believe that recent events, starting from Peace Summit, new sanctions, more severe discussions with China, Stoltenberg talking about new nuclear programs and so on, demonstrate that more and more decision makers in the democratic world realize that yes, it's not about territories, it's not a local conflict, it's not about money, it's not about NATO, it's just because Putin needs this war to survive. So any agreement, any ceasefire is total BS because he will use it to continue. He lives as long as this war continues. The moment this war stops for sure, he's dead. Remember to like this message, it's important, and share my videos if you feel like sharing, because we are not Russia, we are not a dictatorship. But do join me on Instagram, X, Threads, and Discord. Check our beautiful merch shop with lots of items that work well as reminders and conversation starters about my very beautiful country, Ukraine. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons and sponsors of the channel. This helps me film more and write more. I'm blessed to have you, and thank you for all the good things that you do in the support of Ukraine and democracy worldwide. Slava Ukraini!